5-minute call, Maori Party, Marama Fox.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Jan Logie has articulated a very compelling argument. Porter Williams also has expressed the views that we hold. Now, we gave Mr. Seymour the ability to respond to some of our concerns. We worked with the Select Committee to try and address those concerns as we went through. And in fact, one of the times when I was otherwise engaged in the House and missed the meeting by 5 minutes, I go back to the Select Committee to find everything's been turned around after we'd already made those decisions and had those debates. And I think that actually points to the heart of the issue for me. What we have done, despite all of the talk that we've had about communities coming together and being able to watch the game, which I do support, but what we have done by passing this, or what we may do by passing this through tonight, is actually loosen alcohol licensing rules. Now, we've had all the good scenarios, but actually we do this to protect against the worst case scenarios. Now, despite the fact that we want communities to come together, we are actually loosening alcohol rules to extend the sale of alcohol. So what? So that we can watch games of rugby. Now, I love rugby, absolutely love it. I'd go watch a game of rugby in my hometown any time, night or day. But this does not make sense. Let's have a look at some of the issues that we raised before. The misuse of alcohol has devastating effects on our whānau. 1 in 5 Māori will have an alcohol disorder at some stage in their lives. 1 in 10 will become dependent on alcohol. Those most likely to have alcohol abuse and dependence issues are those living in the poorest households and communities. We also know domestic violence incidents arise when alcohol consumption increases. Our whānau suffer when we have lax alcohol laws. There are enormous harms associated with alcohol consumption. We cannot support this bill. We cannot support it going through in the way that it has done. We wanted to try and work with the committee to put some processes around doing this because, yes, communities coming together, that's a good thing, but why with the sale of alcohol? Why would we need to have potentially some licensed premises open for almost 48 hours? That potentially could happen. And we tried to say limit the number of games that licenses could be on licensed premises and clubs could be open for. But no, that was turned around. We tried to say give the emergency services and the police time to put things in place because of the impact that this is going to have on them by making the special license 14 days notification. Well, no, that's gone as well, back down to 7. We cannot apply this blanket open slather rules that we have done and not expect harm. And we are here and we are opposing this because we absolutely believe that what will happen is increased risk to our most vulnerable people, to our children and to our families. You know, we, through the 2012 reforms, the Māori Party put up a number of SOPs. Following the reform of those laws, there was a significant decrease in the incidence of harm. In the 10 weeks following, there was a 24% fall in alcohol-related offences between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. In central Wellington alone, there was 31% fall in alcohol-related offences. And in central Auckland, an 11% drop. That was only in the 10 weeks following those reforms in 2012. I want to say to you that there is real harm associated with excess alcohol consumption, and what we are doing, what we are proposing here tonight, is to loosen the laws around alcohol rules. And I believe firmly that there is already provision if you want a special licence, and we're just ignoring that process.